In this video, I'm going to reveal what's underneath the hood of my 7-figure investment portfolio. We'll get into the 6 different investment classes where I invest my money. We'll also get into the proportions I dedicate into each. My name is Matt Diggity. I'm the owner of multiple digital marketing businesses, particularly in the search engine optimization space. Although I realize that a majority of my net worth has come from my businesses, I acknowledge that in the long run, that proportion will shift over to money made from investments, especially considering that if I play my cards right, the money will be able to pass down through generations in my family. So I take investing very seriously, and apparently the viewers of this channel do too. According to this community poll, 40% of you use your money first and foremost for investing. But let's be honest, there's a selfish reason why I wanted to make this video. I truly believe that the best way to master something is to be able to explain it to others clearly and concisely. So the truth is, I just really want to get better at investing. Also, I want your feedback. People have unique ideas and opinions about investment, often very passionate ideas. I'd love your opinions if you think what I'm doing is bat crazy or not. So make sure to let me know in the comments. We're going to get into why I've been putting money into stocks, real estate, crypto, alternative investment classes, angel investment, as well as keeping some liquid cash. And stick around to the end because I'll lay out the allocation I'm putting into each of these asset classes as well. But before we get started, can you please allocate an investment in the like button? Studies show that the YouTube like button is the best asset class to invest in this year. But in all seriousness, it helps me know that you'd like to see more content like this. Thanks. Now let's get the formalities done with. This is not investment advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. I'm not a financial advisor. This is the investment strategy of some random dude on the internet. So seek professional advice before making any investment decision. So now that I've really gained your confidence, let's talk about stocks. 33% of my net worth is invested in the stock market. But this is sort of a new thing. I used to absolutely hate the stock market. Back in the day when I first started making a decent salary as an engineer, I had a bad experience with the financial advisor. I realized over time that I became a set it and forget it type of client. I was paying him money, but for what? He'd just buy the same mutual fund over and over. Red flag. I also hated the idea of feeling like I needed to track the market, stock prices, and my portfolio value when I was trying to stay focused on my career. You'll learn why that was a stupid fallacy soon. Now, I started to have a change of heart about stocks when I met Sam Marks from the Invest Like a Boss podcast here in Chiang Mai, Thailand. He told me to read Money Master the Game by Tony Robbins. After that, I read I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi. Now, despite how sketchy these titles are, I learned a lot.
That's suspicious.
First, don't use financial advisors. 90% of financial advisors can't even beat the market. Why pay them for something you could do by yourself just by investing in the market as a whole? Second, they charge high fees, and that seriously eats into your overall return. Third, they can often put you into subpar mutual funds that tend to make them money because they're getting special commissions, but not necessarily you. And that's when I realized, holy shit, that's what was happening to me. So what you should do instead is buy low-fee index funds that track the entire market, such as the Vanguard Total Index Fund, and hold on over time to leverage compound interest. In 2020, when COVID hit, the stock market dipped and this fella was primed up to get back into the game. So what stocks did I decide to put my money in? 50% of my stock allocation, I decided to robo-invest using Wealthfront. Wealthfront is an investment platform that uses algorithms to both create and balance the stock portfolio. And because they use code instead of humans to do the work, the fees are much cheaper. They'll also use low-cost index funds, which is what you want over the long haul. Lastly, they'll use techniques like tax loss harvesting to optimize your returns. This is the split that Wealthfront determined would be best for my age and risk appetite. 35% US stocks, 24% foreign stocks, 17% municipal bonds, 16% emerging markets, and 8% dividend growth stocks. And so far, returns have been up 28-29% since investing. That's not to say these robots are geniuses. I got in at the peak drop of the pandemic and have been dollar cost averaging ever since. Dollar cost averaging is when you invest a set amount at set intervals over time. It averages in any gains or losses you might have experienced if you went YOLO all at once. To sign up to Wealthfront, use the link in the description. With the other 50% of my stock allocation, I'm putting that money in the care of a fiduciary. According to NerdWallet, a fiduciary is an individual who acts in the best interest of a particular person or beneficiary. In the world of financial services, that means fiduciary advisors must only buy and sell investments that are the best fit for their clients. In other words, they're legally bound to do what's best for you. You might be thinking, what the we're back to paying for financial services and fees again. And what about the fact that 90% of advisors can't beat the market? Here's the reasons I'm testing fiduciary services. First, diversification. Any portfolio needs diversification. What I'm doing here is diversifying how stocks are getting purchased within my stock allocation. Second, curiosity. I want to see who wins. They're not buying the index, they're buying individual stocks. They bought Tesla at the right time. Wealthfront just won't do that. Third, their advice. They help me come up with a strategy for my entire portfolio, not just stocks. The advice advise me on things that they don't even make money on, like crypto, and they get me access to other income vehicles that are typically reserved for the ultra-rich. Here's some of the notable businesses the managed fund has bets on right now. Tesla, as you know, Google, Qualcomm, Comcast, Taiwan Semiconductor, PayPal, Crocs, and a dabble of Bath & Body Works. How are they doing so far? I'm about to hit a 2-year anniversary with these guys in a couple months. After that, I'll run a comparison which I'll share in a future video. People can be super passionate about this topic of index fund investing versus managed funds. Let me know where you stand in the comments. Before we move on to the next asset class, I'd like to comment on the market situation. 33% of a portfolio is a big allocation. And there's a ton of fear about the market being overpriced, recession being right around the corner, and inflation about to rip everything apart. I'm not gonna lie, I have these fears too. But I'm not gonna take any money out anytime soon. Timing in the market beats timing the market. Next up, we have real estate with a portfolio allocation percentage of 22%. Up until 2020, real estate was actually 80% of my portfolio. I bought my first real estate investment in 2012, and here's how it happened. I went to junior high with a couple of guys that were on a TV show called Flip That House. I asked a friend who worked with them, "What do y'all invest in?" He answered, "Single-family homes that we immediately rent out for passive cash flow, in stable areas with great school districts, job markets, and have high rent-to-value ratios." I love the idea that they would start spitting out cash immediately. And it's a super simple equation to figure out how many you need to retire. For example, if you wanted to retire on 10K per month, and if each of them cash flowed at 1K per month, you'd need to buy 10 houses. So they set me up with a turnkey company that took care of everything in one shot: the sale, the insurance, property management, and mortgage if you wanted one. I love this idea because I don't mind paying a bit of a premium to have everything taken care of for me. I'd rather focus on my work. So I went for it. I paid all cash for a 100K-ish house that was cash flowing at about $1,000 per month before tax. Single family, 3-bedroom, 2-bath in Memphis, Tennessee. And since then I bought 9 more if we're not counting my primary residence, which I don't think you should if you're talking about investments. They're all single family homes in Memphis, Indianapolis, St. Louis, and Tulsa. To date, after taxes, repairs, and vacancies, these properties have cash flowed me $614,208. This is the part of my portfolio that gives me peace of mind, knowing that my lifestyle is paid for even if everything else went to shit. But in 2020, I stopped buying houses. There's a couple reasons. First, the real estate portion of my portfolio was getting too big. Second, the good deals started drying up. As you likely know, real estate prices shot up because of supply chain issues and money printing, and they'll probably keep going up. But it doesn't mean I'm out of the real estate game. When I've added more into my other portfolio buckets, I'll be back. Next up, we have crypto with 7% of the portfolio. Actually, it makes up anywhere between 4 to 10% of my portfolio, depending on what Elon Musk recently tweeted. I bought Bitcoin at the peak of the 2017 bull run. It was more of a FOMO play. This is when everyone couldn't shut the up about Bitcoin and the whole world quit their jobs to become crypto experts. And of course, it crashed right after I bought it. But I hodled it anyways. You're probably picking up a theme to my investment strategy. In 2020, I got back into crypto. I started dollar cost average purchasing at 80-20 mix of Bitcoin and Ethereum respectfully each month. What got me back into it was actually my fiduciary advisors. The fact that they were recommending to put 7% of my portfolio into crypto, something they make absolutely nothing from, got me interested again. And of course, at least up to today, it's been a great move. You might be surprised that I have a low percentage of my assets at 7% in crypto. I'm super bullish on the technology behind it. I hate the archaic banking systems. I hate the stupid fees that get tacked onto everything. I'm excited about the metaverse, Web 3.0, NFTs, all of it. I also get super FOMO about all my friends doing some sick yield farming and making bank on new projects all the time. So why not more than 7%? For me, at my age, the volatility of the space is just a little bit too much for me to go all in. But as flexible as this investment class is, so is my allocation to it, and I expect it to change over time too. Next on our list with 16% of the portfolio is alternative investments, also known as alts. I really got into alts when I read the book Lifestyle Investor by Justin Donald. Alternative investments are alternative investments. According to Investopedia, they're investments that don't include stocks, bonds, or cash. So that could mean venture capital, hedge funds, managed futures, art, or even real estate. But what I'm talking about here is mostly private equity, lending money to companies working on big projects for either a large equity upside and eventual exit, or lending them debt for immediate cash flow. I'll give you an example. Imagine a business wants to raise money to buy multiple mobile home parks, rehabilitate them, put in sick operations, fill up vacancies, and then flip the business for a big profit. It'll cost them millions to do this. They might get a loan from a bank, which would take them a long time to secure, and they need to collateralize this against their firstborns. Alternatively, they could go to private investors for the money. What I particularly like about these types of deals is that a lot of them cash flow immediately. With the right deal, you can get a nice monthly return plus upside on an exit scenario. The challenge is finding the right deals. Right now, I'm invested in 4 private deals. deals. 3 of them are cash flowing right now with monthly distributions of about 8%. And if we get an exit scenario, we're looking at a total return of about 15 to 20%. One is a mobile home park, like I mentioned earlier. It's not cash flowing, but the play here is a refinance where all the investor money is returned, and then the future returns will be virtually infinite. Of all the investment types in the portfolio, this is the one that I want to dedicate more time, attention, and money into. The returns are great, and I'm a big fan of cash flow. It just takes a lot of time to find the right deals. That said, I expect this asset allocation to increase heavily in the future. Next, we have angel investments. Angel investments are financial backings into small startup companies in their early stages. Why do I say that there's 0% of my portfolio? Because they're risky AF. I practically kiss this money goodbye, but I'm hoping for a big return of 10 to 100x later on. I started angel investing in 2019 by being one of the first private investors into Surfer, a fast-growing content and on-site optimization SEO software as a service business. Call me lucky, but this one is doing really well, which is a huge testament to the team at Surfer and the solution they provide. I've also invested in an early seed round with Excision Biotherapeutics, a biotech company that is looking to cure HIV and other diseases with CRISPR gene editing technology. And lastly, Bloom, a brand new e-commerce startup in the cannabis space in Thailand. Bear in mind, I am not a pro at this. I legit got my angel investment education from a book which I highly recommend people read if they want to get into angel investing, and that's Angel by Jason Calacanis. And according to Jason, you should be making about 50 angel investment bets in order for the math to work out in your favor. Most will totally die, but some may hit unicorn status. So by this definition, I'm just getting started. But I gotta say, it's really fun to live life with multiple lottery tickets in your pocket. I plan to grow this category as well, but keeping it a small portion of the overall plan. Now we come to liquid cash at 22%. Why in God's name would I keep cash that earns less than 1% interest in a savings account while being reduced to dust by inflation? First, my businesses generate a decent chunk of cash flow, so this bucket gets filled up every month. Second, I like to dollar cost average all my investments. So even if I wanted to YOLO it all into crypto, well, I just wouldn't. Third, opportunity cost. Who knows what other opportunities might come up that I'll need cash on hand for. And fourth, a portion of this cash is my emergency fund in case the shit hits the fan. So there we have it. 33% in stocks, 22% in real estate, 33% in cash, 7% in crypto, 16% in alternative investments, and some amount in angel investments. I'll be sure to update you as this changes over time. Remember, this isn't financial advice. I'm just some dude on YouTube. Always seek professional advice before investing your hard-earned money. If you like content like this, let me know by smashing the like button and make sure to subscribe for more videos like these.